small task. I haven't opened the pull request yet, but if you'd like to check out the project source code, you can stop by github.com/companionship care and check out our companionship care project. So the project source code can be found in this project folder. We've got a little bit of documentation and some other project metadata about deployment, licensing, the project dependencies, things like that. I'm in the middle of changing one of the core project ideas. Each of these folders in the project source is an app, a Django app. And they more or less correspond with the top level concept that's part of how we're viewing the world and part of the process we'd like to change. Accounts are necessary for interacting with online software. Activities are things that you do together. They can be going shopping or doing housework. So I guess the activities are things that we'll do to help one another out. Caregivers are people who help do those activities. The core is just some settings and things. These are localizations, and these are static files, like CSS and things like that, I believe, or logo. Actually, sorry, I take that back. This is when you upload media to the project, it'll get added to this folder. The static is where the CSS files would live, but we don't have any, or when we collect static. So anyways, those aren't so much relating to the software itself in terms of the domain model, but more the platform. This folder, people, is the one I'm working in. And people are the focal point of this project. Companionship care, we're promoting wellness by facilitating companionship activities. The idea is that you might know a person who is living independently, living alone, but may need help in certain daily activities like cleaning or running errands, getting groceries, filling prescriptions, or they just may want companionship or company in doing things like going to a movie or going to a cafe. So those people you would kind of would be the center of your caring circle. But what I realized, the software is providing activities, a log of activities by caregivers who are part of a caring circle around a person. And rather than logging into the software and adding a person, I'd like to log into the software and create a caring circle or a circle. You know, there's no perfect way of describing the world, and software likewise isn't going to perfectly reflect our goals. But sometimes you can improve the semantics. And I'm thinking in this case, changing the word people to circles would more accurately describe kind of what we're adding here. We're adding a circle around a person and inviting some caregivers into that circle. I don't know. So it's a small difference, but it may be a like substantive change. So here we go. Now we're looking at the code that's involved here, and a bunch of errors. What I've essentially done here, errors aside, is just, I'll hide a little bit of those. Actually, I can hide them this way. Boink. I'm just renaming a bunch of files, or essentially copying a bunch. So we've got the people app, and I've just duplicated that app here, and I'm calling it circles. And now what Django is telling me is, hey, you've got some duplicate code, and in your database definitions, there's some relationships that are overlapping that have the same kind of word for the relationship. So what I need to do is actually hop into circles and look at the data models a little bit closer and reappraise the names of things. And so, for example, One thing I might just be able to get by with is just so these reverse names are what we're going to have to fix here. If I look at, for example, we got circles. Let's collapse that one. Companions, join requests. Those are the three main domain elements in the Circles app now. A circle is a group of people who want to provide companionship to a person in need, basically, you could say. Companions are those people who join and that circle, and join request is the process by which you join. You got to kind of request to join so that you can't just join any arbitrary circle. We also have an invitation system where you can invite trusted people into your circle. So join request is an example of a model that has a couple of foreign keys. And join request is in between, it's in between a companion and a circle, or a user and a circle, sorry. It says this user is applied to join this circle. They're maybe not yet a circle, companion. It's a bit confusing. I'm confusing myself, admittedly. I'm trying to make this more straightforward and more self-explanatory, though. And this related name is what's conflicting between our old model and our new model. But I think in terms of from a circle, you have join requests. That makes sense. So if I have a given circle and I want to see who's trying to join, I can say, show me the join requests. Similarly, if I have a given user and I'm seeing what circles they're trying to join, well, I would try to see their join requests. So I think this change is going to remain in place. Well, one approach that might just solve this whole thing could be to open our settings file and just comment out the core settings, that is, the people app. I'm essentially deprecating that. Clear those errors out, make the migration, see what happens. Okay. Okay, can't import Django. So Poetry Shell didn't automatically open, so we'll fix that. Huh, this is weird. I just replaced my batteries. Keyboard should be working. All right, now let's try making these migrations and just see if this works. Oh, come on. Control L. There we go. Maybe no model class B. Ah. Oh, wait a minute. All right, so activities models also needs to be updated. I thought I'd saved that. All right, so I can't just simply move that out, darn it. Oh, of course. So from circles models, we'll import circle. And keep an eye over here on chat. If you're welcome to the stream on Twitch. If you got any suggestions, I'm open to ideas or any questions. Person specified. Activity URLs. What I'm going to do is just people are so integral to this app, you can see it's threaded through the activities. All right, so you get all the references there. Include all star.py. Quite a lot of places where we need to update this code. Welcome, thanks for stopping by on Twitch. We're working on an open source project to promote well-being. If you'd like to check out the source code here, we're on github.com/companionshipcare. Project is written in Python and Django. And our idea is that, well, we want to ensure that nobody's kind of living in isolation. And in order to do that, we're developing a platform that encourages companionship, particularly for elderly people or other persons who might be living independently but need help with some of their day-to-day activities. And what we're trying to do is help their loved ones or friends or family define a care circle and invite other caregivers to join that circle and just do day-to-day activities with the person. And what I'm trying to do is a refactor. I'm renaming person to circle. Essentially what was happening is when you log into the software, you need to create a group that you can invite people to participate in activities, and then you coordinate these activities. And the group is centered around a person. But when I first wrote the software, I called it the database entity of person. So you would kind of log in and add a person. That way it seemed, personal or person-centric. But then I realized that some of the language was a bit awkward, and that what we're actually adding when we log into the system is a caring circle or a group. We can call it. Group is kind of generic, and group is also used by Django for other reasons. So I'm just renaming this. I will skip that one. Can I just ignore that one? I don't know if I want to delete it. I don't think I can delete that. But here, I'll just... I've just got to be aware that some of these could be in migration files like this. we want to ignore all the migrations. Here we go. And it's also case sensitive, so I want to be careful about naming uppercase to lowercase. Might be just quicker to rename them all. Check the differences here in the diff viewer and catch any errors that way. 35 files changed. So this one is wrong. This can just be something like that. Custom user creator. Person, 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 person. Circle, 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 circle. Circle list, person list. Circle list. Circle. Circle. Person. Circle like the mouse one keys. Circle. Activities. A lot more changes through the views. Okay, very cool. Nothing in it, I guess. Strange. All right. So newly created. And actually what I can do is just, that would make this easier, is just delete people. I'm in a branch, so this is, I can revert this. Oops. There we go. It's big. A lot of files changed. Hey, what's up? Yeah, it's been a while. How are you doing? So I can't see your full username. 1 second. I've been not been streaming very much. Oops. On Twitch for a while. I guess that's as big as I can, as wide as I can get the chat. Oh, darn it. Sorry. Yeah, I've just recently been coming back to Twitch. Doing a multi-stream setup with YouTube. But yeah, it's good to be back. And I think Twitch is generally more talkative in my experience, so it's nice to see, have people to hang out with. Sorry, my brain's a bit distracted here trying to get these, so many little details here ironed out. I'm working on a new project. The last time I was on Twitch, I think was almost 2 years ago. And I was working on a geographic information system. And now I'm working on a well-being. Let me see if I can switch over. Here's Twitch. Creator dashboard. Gun Go Pews. There we go. Got it. I got your handle. Yeah, and it should show your moderator token as well. But what have you been up to in these last couple of years? How have you been? That was I think the last time I was on Twitch was like pre-quarantine, pre-COVID quarantine days and stuff. Oh man. Maybe if I give it on, let's see, give it some more space here. How about, let's try 500 width of the chat box. There we go. Gun Go Pews. Now I got your whole name. Let me just move that over there. So yeah, I'm just adding Twitch back, doing this multi-stream. I got to get my configuration all set up, and I might do a slightly smaller code view. Something like this. I don't know if this would be too small, but just by way of example, oh wait, that's the wrong one. If I were to do the desktop like this small, is this too small to read the code? if I have like some space over here for the chat and maybe some space down here for other stream items, can you still read the code there? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So basically this is what's necessary. I'll have to figure out where the chat can reside. Maybe we can scroll by and just have it like not so tall. Let's see, so if I do like this, chat box, and right now it's 700 tall, let's do 400 tall. Yep, whoa, that jumped it up though. Yeah, and we'll put it right down here, maybe 300 tall. Sorry for the stuff jumping around here. I want to get the stream set up pretty nice, so probably 200 tall. 200. That way we see at least the last few messages. How's that? Stream setup, face, doesn't obscure the code if I have something over here on the screen. This chat down here. And one thing that I was noticing is a problem is that when I split the screen over here, boom, stuff might get blocked. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, step by step, learning the ropes and improving the stream a bit at a time. Yeah, it's kind of nice to have the stream chat visible. Yeah, I'll put it back at 700. Perfect. I might just have to put an opaque background behind the text so it's legible. I think I can do that. What kind of travel did you do? Like, did you go? How far did you go, or where did you go? If you don't mind, if it's not too private to say. I go over here to the widgets. I come down to the chat widget. Chat box. CSS. All right, well, I'll fiddle with the chat box off screen. Hey, Juan, what's up? Currently in the companionship care app, I'm just refactoring and basically renaming a central component of the software. companionship care is designed for person-centric companionship circles. We want to find if you know somebody who's living alone, maybe an elderly person like a parent or other loved one. They're living independently. They want to age at home. They don't want to live in, for example, 24/7 assisted living or something like that. But they're kind of getting to the point where they need some help with some basic things. Not in a bad way, just that, we all need companionship and we can all get by with help sometimes. Say you want to coordinate that care. Well, this software is designed to help you set up a companionship circle, invite some people, and everybody comes together and like helps out this person. And when I first wrote the software, the data model was basically you would log into the software and you would create a person, and then you would invite people or companions to that person, and then you would coordinate activities on that person's page. But just when I talk about it, even it's just a bit awkward to create a person and invite people to a person or invite companions to a person. So what I'm doing is I'm just renaming person to circles. You log in, you create a circle, a companionship circle, which is like a group. Django core already uses group though for a different purpose, and so I can't really use that word. But really this is a person-centric model, so you would create a circle around that person, invite companions to join that circle, and then start doing activities. It just seems more natural to me to talk about it that way. And I think that as an engineer or as software developers, we should do our best to kind of model the world in our software, how people would naturally speak of it, and the sort of natural verbs and nouns that we're using when we're talking about what we're trying to achieve with that software. So yeah, I'm just basically refactoring some stuff. But yeah, if you're interested in this project, we're open source on GitHub. And you can stop by github.com/companionshipcare. I've got a deployment active right now, but the way I'm actually performing this refactor is going to be backwards incompatible. I believe. I'm not going to take care right now to make a migration path. So the main reason is this software is alpha, and I've got a deployment for testing, but absolutely nobody's using it. I log in, I check, there's no usage. So this is the time to make backwards incompatible changes. And when we start getting users, there'll be more commitment to preserving backwards compatibility. So yes, that's how we're working on it. Yeah, thanks, Juan. And the idea is I'd like to hopefully sustain the project by building a small business around there, committing to being a fully open source project, no hidden features or anything like that, having a free tier so that there's always, cost is not a barrier to entry, but also having, in terms of the software would be open source, but the deployed version of that could have a paid tier to sort of unlock features that would actually have a natural cost to them, such as transactional emails or things that incur higher server load. So on the Companionship Care website, I sort of outline this idea. It's just an idea at this point. So companionship.care. We got some details about like the problem we're trying to solve. And this is inspired by some friends of mine as well as my personal experience. And so I'm pretty confident there's a need for this. And I'm kind of almost scratching an own itch, but not quite. I'm actually living kind of isolated here in Finland. I moved I moved here to Finland and I've had to kind of reboot my life, but that's another story. But also I've got loved ones who are like my dad, who's living independently, but he's actually my grandpa. Anyways, long story, I was adopted by my grandparents, but my grandpa or dad is living alone, and he needs help with stuff, and I'm so far away I can't help him with most of the things he needs, and he's not in any way like, he's very independent, but maybe having a little memory problems and mobility issues. So yeah, he could have help with groceries, shopping, or just hanging out. So that's basically it. You log in and you create a care group, and you coordinate, you invite some companions, and you coordinate these activities like I was mentioning. And some features that might be in like a sort of kind of a premium version would be like email reminders. In the free version, you might not get those because those transactional emails actually incur a cost. Right now, the only cost I'm incurring is a monthly server hosting, and I have almost no maintenance cost. So I can really run this software very affordably, and the server hosting is only around €5 a month baseline, and it'll grow if the users grow. So we might add like a supporter tier where if you have a little bit of money, you can support the project financially and maybe unlock a couple of features. And I've got a couple more ideas in the backlog, like integrating it with your calendar, because essentially we're building a glorified calendar, but it's not quite the same. The user experience is different from a calendar, distinct enough that it's its own project. So yeah, trying to be upfront about things that I do have ambitions to build a sustainable business around it, but I also want to make sure that it's useful. So this stuff is all hypothetical right now. I think there is a limit of 5, maybe instead of 3 companions. So you can create a group, invite up to 5 people, something like that. I'll have to double check in the source code. And again, the source code is here on GitHub, so I'm not really trying to hide any of this stuff. Cool. And so, yeah, just renaming things right now. It's quite a lot, and it may or may not work. Let's see. Still not quite working. What's going on here? Okay, so what I'm gonna have to probably do is just squash all migrations. Reboot the migrations too. There's probably a much more elegant way of doing this. Let's see here. No, not that one actually. Ooh. Move to trash. Yeah, Juan, do you have any experience or any, do you know of any people who have experience with having a loved one who's needing some kind of assistance or companionship in their life? I think it's such a common thing. I think it really touches base on a deep need, especially with, COVID just causing so much isolation. Really just made it clear the importance of companionship. And that's actually kind of what prompted me to finally take action on this project. It's sort of an idea that's been percolating a bit, where when my dad was living independently in a mountain cabin for a long time, he would rely to, before he finally ended up moving, he would rely on neighbors and such to go and help him with things like getting groceries, because even getting groceries in the mountains, takes a car and you have to drive quite far. It's like an hour round trip, something like that. Yeah, and he was just generally, pretty lonesome up there. I think that's why he ended up moving to get closer to family. But yeah, I think that and I've had friends who've also kind of expressed their concern, about one friend who had her mother was needing some assistance with her day-to-day activities, and And this friend was trying to coordinate those activities by hiring a professional and things. So she was kind of relaying some of the difficulties there. Oh yeah, volunteered in nursing homes. And yeah, I think it's crucial, part of being human, right? Companionship. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, some of the companion animals, that's so helpful. Yeah, and I remember also I was one of the another original inspiration for this was working also in or volunteering also in a nursing home here in Finland. And yeah, this woman used to bring her dog, and it, like would bring so much benefit to the people who were just had that, they just love that animal. And another thing that I think is really interesting, based on my also experience, is that getting children and elderly together, and it's part of something that we've lost as a society, where families used to stay together, and the grandparents would help, be much more active in helping raise the children, or you'd have like a village or a smaller community where the kids would be more free range, and would interact with the elderly people. I think we are missing that intergenerational kind of bond that was so integral, I think, to being human and to a human experience and holding communities together. And I think we've really lost that when we're now trying to compartmentalize. Everybody wants their own house out in the suburbs. Elderly people should be in a assisted living home out of sight. Kids should be in a daycare. Everybody in their right place. You're in grade school, you're in high school, you're in college, but you're segmented, stratified, or now you're an adult, so you're at the workplace. Yes. Okay. So rebooted everything, and that command ran. That's a good start. But yeah, this is not the way to do it. Don't if you're doing Django development and things, don't follow my lead here. I'm taking the nuclear option. I'm really just kind of preserving the functionality, but I kind of blasted all the migrations away and renamed all the code and everything. And I can't even migrate this database. So okay, we're going to create a new one. But you can check out this process of starting the project from scratch. So I've got this database. I'm going to back it up because, again, I'm working in a branch. So all these changes I've made, I can just roll them back. I haven't committed a single change yet. So that's one thing, that's a good practice, I suppose, working in branches. And such like that. Now I can delete this. So yeah, if you clone this project, you'll only dependency here. There's two dependencies. You have to have Python, and you have to have Python Poetry Package Manager. So here I've gone like Poetry Shell. I Poetry install all the dependencies. I'm in a Poetry Shell now, like that. And now I'm going to run Python manage py. That's how we do and I'm in the project directory. That's where the source code is. Companionship care is the kind of the Git project, the GitHub project, the repository, and the project folder is where all the source code is. Otherwise, there's some documentation and things. And we're going to now migrate to run the database migrations that I just created. I blasted and recreated. Yep. Now we're going to create a super user. Create super user. I'll do this. Oh, I haven't created that yet. My super secret test123 password. And it's so super secret that it's too common. All right. Now, running server, up and running. All right, it's always exciting when I get that server running. All right. There we are, local host. So welcome to companionship care. I'm gonna change that. People, and that don't need to search pi. I thought I went through this thing. The fine tooth comb circles. Save that. Did not reload. What? I I added the auto reload to this project.
Oh, that was the wrong one.
Ah, that's different, and that's why. So, but it's still an auto reload. Circles, circles list, circles list. Cool. Yeah, there it goes. It did auto reload. Did you catch that? That was fast. It was so fast I didn't even see it. Circles. So we click on circles and you got to log in. So we're going to do Briley at companionship.care and test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, template does not exist. Template not found. Circles. Ah, didn't rename the folder. So many places. Oh man, yeah, and this is one problem. The text contrast here is very poor. But then when I move the code over here, oh, you can't see the code. Yeah, so what was the problem with deleting the migrations? Is essentially that without migrations, I can't take the database forward in a cohesive manner. And this, yeah, all these migrations, they will work with Postgres. Django has abstracted that part away. Now, what would be the proper way to do this is to, it's actually a little bit more difficult. There's several ways of doing it, and I'm not sure which one's the best, but if you rename a Django app, it's actually one of the more complicated things in Django development. And I found a few step-by-step guides. But in the ideal situation, you would preserve all the data and you would give basically Django the instructions on how to move the data from one app to the other through the models and by creating the new tables and things like that. And the instructions consist of various variations on a theme. And go back several years, and I read through them, and I'm not opposed to any of them. In fact, I recommend that that's the way forward, is having a proper migration, and especially in a production app. So this app is a unique case. I'm in an alpha stage. I don't have any users. And in that case, this would be an example of moving fast and breaking things. So the changes I'm making are breaking changes. They're backwards incompatibility. That means any data on the deployment would be lost and not recommended. In fact, on the deployment, I'm just going to reboot. I'm going to destroy the app and reinstall it, more or less. But yeah, this would be the proper way, how to change the name of a Django app, which means renaming it. And more or less, I've done a lot of these, but see, I don't want to run manual SQL commands. I'm just really taking the lazy route here. So, and this dates back to 2011, actually. So, there should be an official guide on this. It's got to be a major thing. But yeah, see, some involves renaming database tables and making migrations. So essentially, I've done most of this stuff. I just renamed everything and tidied up. I just I obliterated the database migrations and restarted those. That's that. But yes, so the thing is working more or less. Oh wait, where were we? Soicles. Yes. And now that I renamed this folder, I just need to stop the server running and restart it. And no reverse match. Person create. Okay. Huh. I thought I went through all these. So many places to change. Right. I also would appreciate more just day in the life of a developer and not what you ate for breakfast videos. I don't like, let me see your pain and anguish when you destroy your production beta. No, I'm kidding. But That's essentially what I'm saying. Don't do this because that's what would happen. And yes, on the stream, I do feel pain and anguish at times. There are times I'm like, what am I doing? And other problems where I'm like going cross-eyed because I just can't figure out the complexity I'm facing. I'm like, what did I do to myself? Why did I create this monstrosity? People. What's it complaining about? Person create. Okay. Person. Man, I thought I went through all these. Person dash. Okay. Person dash. So this one's a bit more subtle. And I need to find these icons. Circle. Soicle. Edit Soicle. Oh my goodness. How did I miss all these? Ding, ding, ding. And we'll need a nice icon from Bootstrap Icons that shows a group. No, that should be fine actually. Person in this case is referring to the user who's logged in. So let's take a look now. Hey, things are working. Circles, add a circle. Add a person. Oh man, how? And this is my license. I'm gonna have to recollect all of these. Haven't even done a localization round. So yeah, this is really alpha quality stuff I'm doing here. I'm not being a role model, I'm just being pragmatic. I guess in a way that could be, I'm a pragmatic role model. Could mean that. Person. Oh, no, person. Actually, it's easier for me just to do everybody at once and then go back. Find those BI dash. that's the only one we wanted to person. Replace those two. All right, let's see if it's running now. It's still running. Add a person. Let's see if I've got a file pictures. Tea time is cool. It's tea time. Upcoming activities, appointment for tea time. Okay. It didn't work. Oh no. Great. So close. So close. I know we're gonna have this done. Something went wrong in the view. So when I submit that form, it goes to activities create view. Activities create. This is going to be one huge commit. Not have a running gun with it. Activities. I wish this was a lot easier. I wish there was a Django command. Django rename app people circles. Boom. It does everything. Maybe someday that could be a thing. Views. Okay. Activity create view. Reverse circle detail. I'm gonna have to take it into debug mode to see what's going on here. So if we put a breakpoint, when I submit this form on the person page, it's just a modal, and it's got a post that gets sent here. Somehow it's not validating. So I'm not even sure if it's getting into the success URL. But if we run this in debug mode, Django and project manage py. Now if I refresh that, and we add an appointment. Okay, so that just didn't work. All right, so this is gonna be a head scratcher. What it could be is the form template. If we look at this form, so it's rendering correctly. Actually, sorry, the form is here, but the template actually can give me some details. If I do like this, it might even give me more information. This field is required, circle. Okay, so that's the problem. It's not getting passed in to the post when I'm submitting the form. So we'll have to hop over here to the circles app, and the template is circle detail, circle form, circle applicant, circle add activity modal is a form. Here we are. Note, yeah, activity create. Hidden. Ah, there it is, right there. This is done. This is weird. I'm doing person. I'm searching person over and over. Why is it not finding? Why am I missing? So many times. Rename all. Do it. All right, so we're back to. I think we're pretty close here, and just need to fix that. All right, so we can actually take a look at this real quick. Where is it? So in this case, yeah, this is a good rename. Also good rename. So let's take a look at that. Companions, and the applicants will be down there. And in here, I'm using person because that's the particular user. Okay, cool. Getting better. Looks good. There we go. All right, so now we can see and where I'm getting these icons from. Essentially, now it's working. So we've got a caring circle that's created around Charlene. I only have a picture of tea, which is Charlene's favorite drink. Actually, Charlene, I think, didn't drink caffeine, didn't drink tea, if I recall. Or maybe she really liked tea. I can't remember. It's been so long ago. I'm the only companion. My given name is given incorrectly because I created a super user. So call me Superman. Super user. There I am. I am the wizard. That means I'm the care circle coordinator. I'm the caring coordinator. So I have special powers to invoke people. I can invite people this way by sending them this link. One feature I'm going to add is that you can just click a button to send them an invitation email. And you have up to 3 or 5 companions. I can't remember the exact number. Once you've invited some companions, they've accepted your invitation, and then you've accepted their application. It's a 2-step process. Well, invite, apply, accept. It just to prevent spam and prevent abuse, I suppose. Prevent people from applying to groups. I don't know. I'll try to simplify it later. Probably using the Django invitations package. In case you have some companions, schedule some activities, and then you can join those activities. And so here I'm using the person icon, and then here I'm using people icon, person icon here. That's it in a nutshell. I need to add more UI tests since things are getting into alpha quality software. but it's approaching beta. It's approaching beta. And at that point, I will commit to backwards compatibility, migrating data. I'll have the domain model a lot more locked in. Hopefully we'll have some initial feedback from users to see if I'm even on the right track, if this is even a valuable idea. I have no real idea until people start using it. Okay. Oh, right. Breakpoint there. So I did that one twice. I think it's it. I'm going to commit. This is the nuclear option. Oh, that was okay. So actually, I need to. Now we're going to just review these again. Reverting the code of conduct changes. Reverting license changes. README. Reverting those changes. This I can discard. Changes, which means deleting the file. Forms, models. All this is legit. I stage a bunch of these things. Git should notice I moved, or maybe it just says it sees everything as new. Well, let's commit it. Publish the branch, open the pull request. Okay, it's only 8 o'clock. 1 hour. Not bad. I'd had 1 hour earlier, 1 hour. It took about 2 hours to take the nuclear option and fully rename everything in the app. It's a huge pull request. I'll open the pull request and I'll sleep on it. Maybe this is not a good idea. I have been thinking about it for a while now, about a week or more. So I have a pretty good feeling it is the right idea, especially this early in the project. It's the right time to do something like this. Later in the project, I would take much more care, find out if there's an official way. I think due to the complexity of renaming Django apps, Django can't sort of provide a one command way of doing it. You know, with dependencies and migrations and those types of things, it's really complicated. So I did a lot of finding and replacing. All right, well, let's do a recap here. Let me get this pull request open. Huh. Right, I got rid of all the migrations, so we're actually a net negative. Linton test pull request failed. Oh man. iSort is looking at our migrations. Pre-commit, configure, iSort. Oh, 789. All right, that one failed again. No, I ran ISOR. Let's try to see why that's failing. Oh, it's pflicate. I forgot to initialize pre-commit on this project. Hey, thanks, Juan. It's nice to hear. Yeah, and I'm still, I mean, getting to the big picture is just ongoing, I think. The bigger the picture you see, the bigger the picture there is to see. Kind of like those infinities, levels of infinity. Infinity mirrors. Okay, so why is that not? Let me double check here. Pre-commit run. All files, is it? My pie. All right, so there we go. Pre-commit did a bunch of things. And I'm either going to remove that my pie. So let me just commit these run pre-commit. I'm just going to remove this MyPy and Django stubs here real quick. But yeah, I guess one of the key things that has helped me just in learning is just to have something meaningful, have a why in learning anything. Why am I learning this? Why am I doing this? So in this case, you know, I'm learning Django so I can build a caregiving app, right? That's my why. All right, now I'm just gonna take MyPy. So MyPy is this static type checker that's, I think, generally useful to have static analysis in your project. It catches some bugs, and when you're refactoring especially, it can catch things. But the MyPy was not configured correctly in this project. It was actually problematic. So I'm just going to remove it, and I'll come back to that when I can read it, when I can address it holistically and properly once and for all. Get it all done. So we'll take this MyPy out of there. Very cool. Everything else though, this has been a really cool helper. This is called pre-commit. It's a Python package that runs checks on your code every time you commit, and it can be things like fixing low-level lints, making sure you're using the latest language features, another lint and style consistency tool called Black, which is becoming the de facto way of formatting Python code, which is nice to have just one more or less de facto way of doing things. Sorting your imports, other lint things that maybe Black could overlook. These tools can work together if you just set something like that. Making sure your Django projects are using the latest syntax, and linting and formatting all your Django templates. So if you notice, when I ran this command pre-commit run and I ran it on all files, it changed like 27 files because there was a bunch of lint that had accrued in the project. I'll run it again. There should be no problem, but you see it just runs through each of these jobs. And if it finds any issues, it'll commit those. But what we're going to do is just kind of in one fell swoop, we'll remove the Django stubs and MyPy stuff. Yeah, very cool. Juan, I don't know how far you are along your development journey, but it sounds like you're interested in continuing learning to code. And you are actively learning, but what type of projects are you interested in building or collaborating on, at least? Do you have any ideas, or are you already working on something? MyPy / Django stubs. And then somehow, yeah, linted this YAML, got linted as well. All right, so now when we hop back over to GitHub, and I'm gonna have to work on this chat display. I gotta figure out a way of displaying all the code and stuff on the screen while giving some space to the community to participate. It's trickier than it seems, even with a high def video stream, making the code legible. But basically, we're gonna hop back over here to the pull request and see if our checkbox goes green. We got some red X's that are bad. So as blazing as I'm being with blasting away the migrations and stuff like that, I'm still trying to pay attention to code quality to a certain extent, and honoring the continuous integration pipeline that's going to run and make sure our code is adhering to quality and running our tests. Now I just ran this. Ran poetry with pflake8 test pi. Now this is supposed to ignore that tests. If I look here, so in our pre-commit, we have this job. It was the flake job, right? Flake lint with flake8. Actually, this is coming from GitHub Actions, which is defined up here. It's slightly different. They're related. Whoa. But here, this pflake8 is supposed to be honoring our ignores. Pflake8, and there's ignores. Pflake8 is not getting the configuration. Pupper doggy. My project. Flake8. Oh, okay. It was actually honoring the ignores. It's a test file. That's failing. Circles test pi 123. Okay. That's a simple enough fix. I think black normally auto formats lines, but it doesn't touch comments. Comments can extend beyond the range. So in this case, I need to manually fix that one. That is a lint. That won't be fixed by the auto formatters. Trying to figure out how to integrate Django channels into a Wagtail site for user messaging. Very cool. User-to-user messaging. All right, and you're checking out my stream on Twitch. Interesting, because on my YouTube channel, I've got a bunch of Wagtail content. I'm not sure if that's how you came to find my stream here. User-to-user messaging, though. So you're wanting kind of like a real-time messaging solution inside of Wagtail, it sounds like. Now, do you need that user-to-user messaging inside the Wagtail admin? Or is there sort of like... okay, you found me on YouTube and now you're checking it out on Twitch. That's cool. So I wonder... Yeah, how did you find the Twitch channel then? Or is my little measurement thing down here wrong? I have 0 YouTube viewers. But basically, though... do you need these user-to-user messages to display in the Wagtail admin, or is this more of a generic Django question if you're designing your own UI around the chat, for example? I'm thinking about removing this code QL as well. It's a bit slow, and I have a couple of other projects I can run code quality analysis. I'll save that for another day. Yes, we've got everything, got a green light going, and CodeQL is not probably going to come up with anything new because I didn't add new features. I only renamed a bunch of stuff. Bunches of stuff. But I came out almost net neutral. I did lose a few lines, lost a little bit of weight in the project from the migrations, though it's not significant. You're on YouTube. Okay, so this little thingy down. Oops, where did it go? Oops, Daisy. This little dealy bob is not correct, is it? This little I guess I'll have to remove that. Unless the icons are wrong. Yeah, so the UI is kind of like the Django stuff. So you're serving it up via Wagtail pages, or are these regular Django views that you're writing? All right, cool. Hey, I've been working on a very similar project as well using Wagtail in a way, but without the chat. Yes, so they're going to use your app, and it sounds like you might be using the Wagtail multi-site features. I'll have to recalibrate my microphone a bit. Seems a bit hot. How's that sound? Yeah, so I think it's going to wrap up this session. It's about right time. 8 o'clock here. A ton of changes. Got a functioning code base. I'll have to figure out some suggestions, some ideas for stream layout. Very cool. You're watching from Ohio or OH? Yeah, so it sounds like you're building your content based on the Wagtail page model, or yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, cool. Ohio. Yeah, I used to live in Kansas from originally, kind of nearby, somewhat. Yeah, well, that's one thing I like about Wagtail though, is that you can intermix the Wagtail page model stuff with the Django stuff, so that's cool, and it provides really nice, user experience for the content management. Are you using Wagtail 4 now, by the way? Have you been able to upgrade to that? Yeah, that's right. I just have, when I was living in the United States, I didn't really think anything existed out of the United States, and it's taken me a while to like learn. Honestly, it's just my own thing, but yeah, even abbreviations, I have to now stop and think. Ohio, OH, right? That's obvious, but maybe not. Maybe there's something else I'm missing. So I have to just kind of check myself every so often, check my assumptions at the door, basically. Yeah, very cool. Started as a Wagtail site, yeah, and you got the easy user experience and whatnot, and developer experience is top notch in Wagtail. Is it an open source project? Are you on GitHub, or is it kind of like more closed development or proprietary? Yeah, I was going to switch to chat. I've really got to organize my stream layout here. It'd be cool just to have a just chatting screen with like where I'm like the chat and me are back like side by side, and be like, yeah, chat. That's cool, chat. That's a good idea. Let me try that. Yeah, I'm just curious if it is open source project. I might be able to stop by on GitHub. I could star your project, follow, and maybe even tag along on an issue you've got in progress. See what you're up to. I was like checking out other open source efforts. All right, well, it's been a little over an hour and a half now. I better wrap up the site. One, it's been really nice talking. It's nice to have company during the live stream. Let's see, my levels program is mid-level, beginner-ish. Cool. Yeah, that's true. Putting things together is the most difficult bit. I still rely pretty heavily on step-by-step instructions for tons of things, as can be evidenced in this even live stream here. I really would have liked a clear step-by-step guide to renaming a Django app. I did some research on it, came up with several options. Each of them, for various reasons, either seemed dated or had too much manual SQL, or the writing was also confusing, or again dated. Django South 2011. I just didn't come away with like a real clear thinking like solution, right? So I took the hard way. I took the not so professional way. Like if I was at a company and I submitted this pull request with a production app, this would not get through the door For sure. Well, since I'm a solo dev with no users and just a dream, I can greenlight my nuclear pull request. Hey, code coverage stayed the same. Yeah, thanks, Juan. All right, I'll do a wrap up. And it's been nice to chat, and I hope to see you on the stream a bit more. Yeah, and ping me if you mention Briley on GitHub. I'm kind of really watching this blue dot all the time. I'm responding there sometimes almost in real time. We could have like a real time chat about your channel's implementation on the GitHub issue. It's pretty fun. So yeah, I'm really interested in helping out, and maybe I'll submit a pull request. We'll check it out and see what we're working together. And as I'm improving this stream, I'm looking more into like having other people here with me doing pair programming. I used to be part of this community called Code Buddies that sort of defunct now in some ways. And so I'm really wanting to promote this spirit of collaboration and hanging out on stream. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, Juan. Okay, cool. @mention @Briley. You can see me here. I think it shows my name @Briley, BRYLIE. Oh, right here it shows. Doing. Whoops. Twitch. I guess that's why I'm streaming on Twitch. All right, let's do a wrap up. Hello and welcome to a recap of today's open source hangout. Today, we've been working on the Companionship Care app. You can stop by github.com/companionshipcare and look for the Companionship Care project for full access to our source code. In today's session, I've sort of been refactoring the project a bit. I decided that on some reflection about how things are named, that I would like to change the name of a core component of the software. What we basically do when you use Companionship Care, it's not running, so ignore that, is you log in and you create a kind of a caring circle, companionship circle, and you give that circle a name and a photo. And the idea is that this circle should be a circle of trusted people who are going to help provide companionship for a friend or loved one. So in this case, that person is Charlene, and I'm the only companion right here now for Charlene, but you can subsequently invite people and schedule activities and participate, join those activities, or encourage other people to join as well. Now, previous to today, this used to be called people, and you would log into the software and you would add a person and invite companions to that person and schedule activities for that person. It's somewhat natural, and I may actually end up second guessing myself here, but for some reason it seems more straightforward, and all the language in the app and all the source code should reflect our natural way of conversing and conceptualizing the world and basically what we're trying to achieve or accomplish. And it seemed more natural to talk about creating a caring circle or caring committee, inviting people to a caring circle, and scheduling activities, coordinating activities in that caring circle, which is akin to a group. And that's essentially what I've set out to do, is just go through our source code and rename this app that was called People to Circles. And in doing so, code coverage has failed. Code coverage check. I'll have to check it out. Quite a lot of lines of code were needed to be changed. I won't go line for line through this whole thing, but suffice it to say, this pull request is not an example of how to properly rename a Django app. I took a sort of nuclear option and based my decision around pragmatism instead of sort of professionalism or perfection or idealism. I did a little preliminary research on, how do you rename or change the name of a Django app, And at least in this Stack Overflow thread, there were several answers with some several steps in each answer. And on considering these solutions, for various reasons, I thought, well, this one's a bit old, or one might involve more SQL, or one is not really even fully answering the thing, because renaming a Django app includes also modifying the database tables and migrations. It's quite involved. Renaming the database table itself, possibly migrating data between existing tables. So one of these is probably the ideal way of doing it, but I didn't kind of come away from this discussion with a clear sense of the right way for my project. And I sort of made just a pragmatic decision that since really this project is an alpha, I should actually publicly indicate that this project is alpha quality. There are 0 active users. It's completely internally, just internal testing right now. That it's in the life cycle of this project, it's okay to make backwards incompatible changes. I haven't made a release yet. I've deployed it in a testing area, but yeah, so it's very alpha, very early stage development. So essentially, I just took a hammer to it and just renamed and moved all the files, renamed everything just with find and replace, deleted all the database migrations, kind of reset them to 0, ran the make migrations command, so it'll create new migrations. Everything runs now properly when the software is actually running. So if I just close this out, I mean, it does work. So when I run the server, so that's been it. If I go to circles now, you can see I've added 1 circle. I can view that circle and edit it. Such and such, change the picture, all that good stuff. Join activities, mark activities is completed. So the software is working, and essentially, as I mentioned, this is encouraging people to come around and become actively engaged in a person's life, in one another's lives. In fact, because in companionship, everyone benefits. This tool has been informed by the COVID pandemic and the sense of isolation I think many of us felt and continue to feel in a lot of ways in our lives, and wanting to foster meaningful connection between people, and particularly people in need, who, some of whom have been in my personal life and friends of mine, such as parents who are aging or grandparents. So yeah, this project is called Companionship Care. I've got a basic website up describing essentially what we're aiming for here and how we propose to sort of improve the situation of social isolation or isolation that many people are facing, how our tool basically works, and some forthcoming information about how I'm going to try to make it a sustainable business while committing to being an open source project and offering a free tier, so that cost is not prohibiting, that people can use this tool, anybody can use this tool up to a certain extent, and any kind of paid features will be based on natural scarcity, things like transactional emails that have an actual cost per message, or data that, like image storage, those types of things will be a natural way to say, hey, if you can support us with a little bit per year, we're not going to ask a lot. You'll be our supporter tier. You'll have a couple extra features unlocked there. If you're a professional and you're finding this tool to be beneficial, you may be managing multiple staff with multiple kind of care circles. Well, maybe you can pay a little bit more, and we'll have some organizational features for your, well suited for your needs. Right now, the project is looking for early feedback to see if we're even on the right path. So if you've got any interest, you can stop by github.com/companionshipcare and just say hi in our discussion forum, and we'll get you started. There's many ways to contribute to this and other projects. We're following a method sort of called all contributors. You can see here, we've got 8 total contributors so far, and we're really affirming and acknowledging that there's more than one way to contribute to open source projects. Code is very important, and in fact, code is what open source is based on in a lot of ways. But I think also open source is based on community. And when I think of community, I think of diversity, people from different backgrounds with different skills and abilities working together and bringing those abilities together, whether it's artistic design oriented, or if you can help improve the documentation or help us figuring things out and making plans, or with basic project management tasks, testing and troubleshooting, as well as like infrastructure management. There's tons of ways of getting involved, again, in this or other open source project. This all contributors has been a really instrumental in helping me to realize the many ways of contributing and to try to create an inclusive community. So again, this has been another live code hangout. If you'd like to get involved with these types of projects, you can stop by GitHub. Right now, there's an initiative called Hacktoberfest. There's a few more days of this Hacktoberfest, so it's a really great time to get involved with the open source community. All right, I thank you for your time and stopping by this live code hangout or watching this summary video. I hope you're doing well out there and have a great day.